What if I told you that a super simple, everyday word for a corner could actually tell us a story about how ancient people saw the very edge of the world? It sounds kind of crazy, right? But words are like these amazing linguistic fossils. And today, we're going to dig one up that connects two languages you'd never expect and reveals a whole forgotten way of looking at the world.
All right, let's just dive right into this linguistic detective story. The whole mystery connects two things that, on the surface, have absolutely nothing to do with each other. A physical corner, like the corner of a room, and the cardinal direction, north. I know, it sounds impossible, but the evidence is just so cool. You got to stick with me on this one.
And here it is, the heart of the whole puzzle. How on earth can the Korean word for corner have any connection to the Japanese word for north? I mean, at first glance, it just looks like a total random coincidence. But believe me, the answer is hiding in plain sight, buried deep in the shared history of these two languages. Okay, so let's put our two main suspects right here, side by side. On the left, you've got the Korean word for corner, quitungi, and over on the right, the Japanese word for north, kita. They look different, they sound different, and their meanings seem like they're from completely different universes. But are they really? So to solve this thing, we've got to take a trip. We're heading to certain regions of Korea to listen really closely to how people actually talk, to the local dialects. And this is where we find our first huge clue.
The source material calls them brother words, which I think is a great way to put it. It's basically a group of words that might sound a little bit different from each other, but they all come from the same family tree and share the same core meaning.
So let's meet the family, shall we? We have Giti, Guite, and our original word, Gwetunji. And in the dialects where you find them, they all point to the exact same idea, the edge of something, a corner, or an endpoint. And here's the critical piece of evidence that linguists uncovered. All of these words are built the same way. See, they all share a common root, either gi or gui, and that root always means corner or edge. The second part, that's just a suffix that changes it slightly. So the thing to really focus on is that root, gi or gui. That is our key.
Okay, so we've got a common root now, but we still need to build a bridge to get us from Korea to Japan. And that bridge, it's made out of sound, specifically these ancient, almost forgotten rules about how sounds can change over time.
You see, sound shifts in language aren't just random chaos. Linguists who study history have found that they actually follow predictable patterns as words travel across cultures and through centuries.
And this brings us to one of those patterns, which the source calls the Tachitsuteto Principle. Now, don't get hung up on the fancy name. What it describes is actually pretty simple. It's a theory that says when certain ancient Korean words that had a T or D sound made their way into Japan, they consistently changed to fit the Japanese way of speaking.
And this, right here, is the big aha moment for the sound connection. The theory is that one of those Korean brother words, Giti, traveled to Japan, and as it got absorbed into the language, its pronunciation shifted, following those predictable rules. The sound became fossilized, kind of like an insect trapped in amber, and was perfectly preserved as the word we know today, kita.
Okay, let's look at the hard evidence laid out here. Just follow me on this. So in that second row, you can see how the Korean root we simplifies down to ki in Japanese. That's a really common kind of sound change. Now look at the top row. The vowel in giti shifts from an e sound to an ah sound. And finally, in the last row, you see that Tachitsuteto Principle in action. The t sound becomes ta. You put all those pieces together and the path from giti to kita becomes crystal clear.
Okay, so we did it. We've connected the sounds. Giti becomes kita. That's settled. But that still leaves us with the biggest question of all. How in the world does the meaning change so dramatically?
This is really the final piece of the puzzle. And to solve it, we can't just look in dictionaries. We have to try and get inside the minds of people who lived thousands of years ago. We have to map their words onto their world.
We have to remember that for a lot of ancient cultures, directions weren't just points on a compass. They were packed with meaning. As you can see here, east was where the sun rose. It was the beginning. South meant warmth, life, good things. But the north, well, the north was something else entirely. It was cold, dark, and to many people it represented the very edge of the known world.
And there it is. That's the final click, the conceptual leap. The north wasn't just a direction on a map for them. In their minds, it was the ultimate corner. It was the final, absolute edge of everything they knew. It was the physical, geographical version of the idea behind the word Giditi.
So let's put it all together. Let's retrace the absolutely incredible journey that this one little word took across hundreds and hundreds of years.
So let's just walk through this amazing journey one more time, step by step. Step 1. It all starts with the origin, the Korean word Giti, meaning edge. Step 2. The word makes its way over to Japan, and its sound shifts. The T becomes ta. Step 3. The meaning itself transforms, as this idea of a physical edge gets mapped onto the conceptual edge of the world, which was the north. And that leads right to step 4, the final result, the Japanese word for north, kita.
So think about what this really means. A word didn't just vanish into thin air, and a new one wasn't just invented out of nowhere. It transformed. And today, the modern word kita carries this fossilized echo of an ancient way of seeing the world, across languages and across centuries. A simple corner became the edge of the world, and the edge of the world became north. Just amazing.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If a simple word for corner can hide a story this epic, what other incredible histories are just waiting to be discovered in the simple words that we all use every single day without even thinking about it? What secrets are hiding in your language?